Hi, it is Scarlet, and we have, oh my god, I'm tearing this shit down. We have our UDA Wi-Fi division draft breakdown, as the coach of the Boston Snoms. It's been, holy shit, it's been literally like 3 years. It's been 2 or 3 years since I've used this name. Um, yeah, Boston Snoms was my first team I've ever. It was the first logo I made. It was the first team I ever made. Like, that's why Snom is one of my favorite mods of all time. Like, it's crazy. Anyways, we got a draft breakdown. Like, subscribe, you know the rules. Um, yeah, so you can already see the first mon. In this league, we have a sacrifice mon, or not a sacrifice mon, but um, like a mascot mon, where it's like the only Terra captain, and it's a low tier mon, and that's your first pick, and you have to bring it to every match. I had the second pick in the draft, and this doesn't go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it goes back to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then snake from there. This is just snake the whole way around. So after this pick, I had the 7th pick, I believe. Usually I'd have like a more sophisticated thing for this, but it's like 9:53, and I like realized a couple days ago I really need to get this out, and I've been working for like 8 days straight. So I haven't really had a chance to really like sit down and get this done. And I believe by the time I'll have a chance is when my first match will be. So I want to film this. I want to get this all out before that actually starts. And yeah. So my first pick, as you can see, is Electro Hisuian. I was between this and Typhlosion. I'm using Typhlosion in another league. Hisuian Typhlosion. I'm using Hisuian Typhlosion in another league. It's really fun. It's a really fun mon. I have not used Hisuian Electrode, and I kind of made it a goal. Oh my god, I'm turning this shit down too. I kind of made it a goal this draft league that I wanted to draft a lot more of my favorite mons. My next pick doesn't really agree with that, but I wanted to draft a lot more of my favorite mons, and Electro Hisuian is one of my favorite mons. I collect some Pokemon cards, and there's a Hisuian Electrode EX or V or whatever box thing, and it was the cheapest one, and I got it, and I pulled a V or whatever card from it. So that was really cool, and it's kind of been a really good moment, and I got that like after a kind of traumatic period of my life, so it has a lot of emotional weight. So I really want to pick it up. It's a C tier. It's probably one of the best Terra captains just because you could do a ton of things. Electric Grass is really good stab because they cover each other pretty well, and by cover each other I mean you have grass for ground. Like, that's literally it. Offensively, it's a really good type. If this had like 90 special attack, I think it would be even better, but 80's fine. You could pretty much spec it, Life Orbit. Chloroblast is going to be really interesting. I'm definitely planning on using it at least once, maybe with like a citrus berry or something. But I'm really interested. There's obviously leaf like big moves you can already see. Leech Seed is going to be one of them. A Leech Seed Protect set, just because that's a pretty good method. 150 speed, you're only outsped by Leaf, Regieleki, and Electrode itself. So Electrode, pretty good, I think. It also gets momentum, it gets taunt, which I think is really underrated with it. I saw another person in my college league who actually dropped Hisuian Electrode, but I am not picking it up. Hisuian Electrode, it had a taunt set, so I thought that was really interesting. It gets Gyro Ball, which is funny. It gets some terrain options, which is kind of sick. Yeah, Stun Sport. This gets Thunder Wave. This has to get Thunder Wave. There's no way this thing does not. Yeah, I guess not. Okay, but yeah. Soon Electrode, first pick, and I was like, okay, I want to pair this with something. No, actually, yeah, I was like, no, I don't want to pair this with anything. Oh my god. No, I wanted to build around something else. I wanted to have a separate core, where Hisuian Electrode can kind of play as, I guess, loose and freely as it wants. It can be whatever role it wants to be in a given matchup. I don't want my mascot to be like, oh, you can only run Specs, or you can only run Scarf, or offense or defense. I wanted a mixture, and this gets at least Light Screen, which is, or no, it gets Reflect, which is at least something. It gets Taunt, which is at least something. It gets Momentum. It gets Pivots. It gets a lot of cool stuff. It gets Terrain. It gets Explosion. Like, this is a pretty solid lead option, and I kind of wanted something that could be flexible, and this is a pretty flexible one. And it doesn't hurt that it's one of my favorites. So next, I decided to kind of build around something else, and to start with that, I decided Lando T would be a fun mon. I knew that it lost defog and something else. It lost some pretty important moves, Toxic, and I think Roost. If it got Roost, or it lost some important things, or Knockoff, right? Yeah, it lost Knock. I'm not too worried. I think Lando T is still really good in Draft League, especially. Maybe not standard meta game, probably going to be Yuyumon. But I think it's really interesting. They gave it a ground type Scald, which is, you know, pretty fascinating, all things considered. I believe it hits in the rain too. It's 100% accurate in the rain, so that could be something to test. I don't know, do you get Weather Ball? No, you don't. But still would be interesting to test. Still gets U-turns, still does Landorus things. It's just a really solid option, and again, it's a very flexible mon, could play a ton of roles. And yeah. Next, this was a wheel pick. So I wanted to. I've said this multiple times. I love bulky offense, and you can already see the bulky offensive core we have with Lando, now Scizor, and Reflect on top of that, screen opportunities and whatnot. I love me some bulky offense. I love mons that can take a hit and then just KO you or do enough damage to put a sweeper in range. I love that kind of play style. It's just what appeals to me, and I've started embracing it. I've started embracing it at this point. So Scizor is really nice. It's super cool because it gets defog, which, you know, Lando T lost. And it gives me an option to remove hazards, which, you know, could be bad for mons that have to swap in constantly and whatnot. Oh my, I'm sorry. I don't know why this is in the playlist, but I am like kind of met on this song. I know some people are like, okay, we're skipping. What's next? Oh, Champion Battle, Sword and Shield. That's a good theme. Okay. Scizor can do a lot of things, though. It doesn't have knock either. I almost said it still does. But it obviously has Technician, which is insane. It has great defensive capabilities with good defensive splits. Can run Assault Vest, Lefties, Banded, all that sort of fun stuff. Gets Trailblaze, which I think opens it up a little bit more. It gets Sword Stance. It gets things like Aerial Ace to really help it out. It gets, I guess, Double Hit, which is what, 17 plus 35 is 50. 104 base power move and 90% chance to miss. Cool. It gets Fury Cutter too, which is, I guess, cool, but there's definitely some really interesting things you can run on it. Rain Dance as well for, you know, Lando T synergy. But again, this is just building up bulky offense. I like having a steel type that doesn't get killed by ground types. And so far, all of my picks that could be weak to ground have not been. But that changes with Iron Moth. I've used Iron Moth in the past, but I decided to trade it in because I felt like in the league I was in, I felt like if it was my best mon, my #1 option, I didn't do something right. The team isn't built correctly. I had to dismantle it, and it kind of started at Iron Moth. So I've used Iron Moth, and I actually really I enjoyed using it. I kind of used surface level sets. I used a T-Spike set. That was kind of like a cool thing, and a subset, which was kind of cool. But I used pretty standard Iron Moth boots, all that sort of stuff. But I feel like in this one in particular, where I have a great ground immunity, I have screen, I have reflect support, I should say. I have pivot. I have 2 pivots. I can get Iron Moth in pretty nicely. And it hits like a truck. 140 base special attack paired with Lando T 145 and Scissor 130. I have some great wall breakers. I have a good sweeper. I have actually 2 good sweepers. If you want to count Lando T, 3 scarfers and whatnot. But booster energy is cool. I don't really use booster energy that much. But it has pretty good options. I mentioned whatever. I mentioned terrain support with Hisuian Electrode. Setting up like a electric terrain, that would be for this guy. There's just a lot here. It could be a pretty nice win con in most games, and it just hits pretty hard. And it gets U-turn for momentum as well, and it gets T-Spikes like I mentioned before. Whirlwind. I played a Whirlwind phasing set, which was kind of cool. And then Morning Sun's sick, and you know, it gets fun shit. Fun shit. Acid Spray, I should also note, is pretty cool too. Because you could hit a tank coming in and not really predict and you know, get a ton from the turn. So I like Iron Moth, and yeah, I figured I should probably at this point invest more in my quote-unquote tanks. I kind of want to get those set up and stabilized and whatnot, and next I decided to try and fill up my Fire Water Grass core. I already have Iron Moth, might as well try and finish it, and Tauros Paldean Aqua is another one of my favorite mons in this format. I used it as a Terra Captain, was very successful with it, and I believe it won MVP or something of the nature of that. Insane. It was a ton of fun to use. Unfortunately not a Terra Captain because it's B tier, but it's an insane mon. It's so much fun, and it does so much good shit. Especially with priority, and Intimidate and Anger Point and Cud Shoot. Anger Point could be cool in case I play Urshifu or something like that, and bait it and get it in and then maybe run Scarfer. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Intimidate's really good. It adds to its huge bulk, or not huge bulk, but really solid bulk. Amazing stat distribution. Bulk up sets. You got Liquidation. You got Raging Pull for screens. You got a ton of just hard-hitting moves, and it's just good. It is just a good mon, and it just does so much shit well. So, and I think I mentioned bulk up, but bulk up's great. Facades great. Ton of options, and it just really supports the team well, and it just intimidates and whatnot. And to finish my Firewater Grass core, I thought, why not get another Rapid Spinner for the team, or more hazard clearing for the team, because you know there's some mons would like them gone in case they're running interesting sets. So Zarina can kind of do that. It also gets both Reflect and Light Screen, which if you don't remember from the last gen, I believe they started taking away some Reflect or Light Screen from some mons. Like some mons only have one, but Zarina has both still, and it still has U-turn, and it still It does not have knockoff. I thought it still had it, but it still has taunt, and it still has recovery with synthesis. It still has drop kick. It's a signature move. Bullet seed for funny. What are they called? Loaded dice. I was gonna say grassy terrain, but that doesn't really fit my agenda. Sunny Day is actually kind of cool. I've kind of experimented with some things in the past where, you know, some weather with mons that shouldn't be running. You know what I mean? It gets a good fighting move with high jump kick / low kick. Though I mean, the mons I'm thinking of that get hit by it also get hit by a stab, you know, power whip, drop kick, seed bomb, etc. So I don't know how useful a high jump kick is, but there's definitely a lot of good shit with Zarina, and I'm really excited to use it. We have a lot of physical mons. So 4 physical mons, 2 special mons. So let's add neither. I've wanted to lock up a fairy pretty quickly. My first choice was Diancie, ironically enough, but that got picked as Praetor's Terra Captain, which is unfortunate, but hopefully he finds great success because, you know, you just Terra into like water and it becomes insane. But Carbink, oh my god, but Carbink, I'm really gonna be interested in trying to make this thing work because I feel like this has Toxapex potential, where you can run. I guess in this case you'd run like something like Leftovers Protect, but then have like Calm Mind, maybe, or what is it? Leftovers Calm Mind, so you don't have to run Protect, and then you know, Earth Power, Moonblast, Power Gem. This thing also gets rocks, it gets spikes, it gets reflect, light screen, it gets so much good shit. It gets Trick Room. I think that's really important to note, considering I have Scizor on this team, I have Zarina, which appreciates it. There's a lot of cool things you can run with this. The interesting part, which I mentioned before, is how am I going to make this thing work? I still don't know. I like this as a concept pick. You know, Carbink could be good in concept, but Steel as a quad weakness to mons with like Ironhead Flash Cannon, not the best. Not what you want to see. So it might come once or twice, but it gives me some more hazard support, which is needed for this team, and it's just a very solid mon. So with this pick, I want to finish up this Fairy Giant Steel Core, right? I got Scizor, I got Carbink, I need one more. And I mentioned the special types. Let's add another one. Let's add Goodra to this team. Goodra is another mon I've used in the past, and I know a lot of people like to dog on it, mainly because 80 base speed is pretty middling. 150 special defense is really great with 90 HP, but it doesn't have pivot, it doesn't have reliable recovery, so it's kind of a weird mon. But I think in a lot of circumstances, you can make Goodra work. I made it work against a choice banded or choice scarfed Meowscarada to great success, and it was on, I believe, an 8-1 team for SDA. Literally whenever I've used it, I've had a winning record, so hopefully, knock on wood, that streak stays consistent and we make a deep playoff push with it. So yeah, Goodra, just a fat tank, and it also hits hard on the special side. AV, lefties, specs, pretty general sets. It gets amazing coverage, can run physical as well, gets acid armor and body press. It's just a good mon. It also gets acid spray. It's just a pretty good mon, and it kind of like fills in some nice little gaps, you know. This team is kind of, I was gonna bring up Lando, but I just realized it's weak to ice. Whatchamacallit? It's a fire resist for Scizor. You know, it's a water resist for my guy Iron Moth. I don't have any. I believe I don't have any electric weak mons, right? I don't. Or no, it's an electric resist for Tauros. It's a grass resist for Tauros. it fills in, and Carbink, it fills in a lot of nice holes for this team. On the special side, mons that are weak on the special side. So I think it fits pretty well, but, you know, just in case you didn't think it did, let's add another mon that loves Assault Vest as well, and that's Alolan Muck, which I forgot to mention all these nicknames, but oh, this is actually just backwards, because this is Muck Alola, so that's just literally backwards. Don't I think that's self-explanatory. Diamond in the rough, or Carbon in the rough, because Carbon's compressed and whatever. Queen, pretty self-explanatory. Mad Bull, I didn't know what to name this thing. I forgot what I named it in my previous league, but Mad Bull. Demoth, because it's a moth and it's Demoth. Goldenrod, I had a team back in a friends league, and I was the Goldenrod Scizors, or I think I made a logo for it or something. I like Scizor too. The meta, pretty, and Balden, because he's Balden, bro. Also, this is the only shiny of the team. I started primarily using more shinies, but I decided for this league I should probably just stick with one. I feel like that's easier. But let's get back to the team. Alolan Muck. Why is this guy here? Because, like I said, I need some special resist. More importantly, I think I was kind of like, I was starting to look at the board at this point, trying to figure out some steals. I think Carbink was one of those. It was an E tier, and I thought maybe it probably could have been D tier. I think Guja was, no, Guja was B tier, I think. There was one other one that was like a C tier, and I was like, there's no way. But Alolan Muck was somehow a C tier. So I was like, you know, fuck it, why not? But this one still has knockoff, which is, you know, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how someone do and don't have knockoff. But Alolan Muck is amazing with knockoff. Walls pretty much every fairy, it walls psychics, it walls so many things. Exceptionally too. It has Poison Touch on Poison Jab for like a 52-53% poison, or 51% poison. It has Taunt in case, you know, I don't run, you know, the obvious set. It gets pretty good coverage, not the highest base powers, like most of them are 70s and whatnot, but, you know, Fortress could get off guard with a Fire Punch, Dragonite could get off punched with a whatever, with an Ice Punch, etc. Alolan Muck, just very solid, and it just does everything it needs to. And that's all you could really ask for again. And at this point, I was kind of looking at, well, okay. At this point, I pretty much had the whole team drafted out. I had the whole team mapped out. I knew what I wanted from the beginning with most of my picks. The only mon I had no idea what to go for was my second S tier, because, you know, you get 2 S tiers. You don't technically have to get 2, but why wouldn't I get 2 S tiers? It's either 2 S tiers or 3 A tiers. And I personally went with 2 S tiers. I was looking at the board, and for some reason, right, that was the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. This was the 9th pick, I believe. It's either the 9th or the 8th. I'm pretty sure it's the 9th. I was looking at the board, and this was on my plan for about 5-6 rounds. Waiting for this one to just get sniped, because I don't get how this one is, first off, legal, but second off, is on the board still. Spectre, like, this one is perfect for my team. It's fast, so it can sweep. It can act as kind of like a fill-in for Regieleki. It hits hard. It has moderate bulk. I'd say 100 HP isn't the worst, and especially since it doesn't have to run max speed or even max special attack for that nature, it's gonna have some leftover EVs that you could run in special, and suddenly this 80 SPDF is more like 95, 90, 92 SPDF. So yeah, Spectre gets the cool special attack raise, and it has, you know, it got coverage. I don't know why they gave this. I think it gave it Draining Kiss and Psychic or something like that. I mean, obviously Terra Blast is huge too. Point is, they gave it coverage for no reason, and now it has it, and now it can do a ton of just wonky things, still has nasty plot, still can do all that, and it's on my team. And I have pretty good, hello? Why is this? Okay. Okay, well I did not draft Apple, but let me get a little unmuck back on the team. Let me write it out too, just to... Okay. So we have all these guys, right? And I'm someone who likes cores. I like my fighting dark psychic core. And we have a dark. We have a fighting. Do we have a psychic? Oh, this is also the last pick. We don't have a psychic. So that's why, with this next pick, I decided to pick up Bombardier. I love doing that. Bombardier is really solid. It does... It's a menace to me. It gets stealth rocks, which I think is really important again for this team. I believe it gets 65? No. But it gets insane hard-hitting moves like Brave Bird. It gets Edge. Let me just get it. It gets dual wing beat, so, you know, break stashes and whatnot. It gets Sucker. It gets U-turn for pivot. It gets Roost for recovery. And it gets Whirlwind for, you know, hazing. Like, this is a pretty solid mon. I think this was also like a D tier, E tier. I think it's a little underrated. I think there's a lot of cool sets you can run. I think Boots is one of them. I think Bandit is the clear one. Just wall breaking potential. I mean, 103 is not the best, but I think with a choice span and adamant nature or something, it's pretty good. It hits hard, especially on this team where, you know, there's a good amount of pivot with mons that are coming pretty frequently, like Sarina, Iron Moth, you know, Scizor, and Lando, and Electrode, which is, you know, literally coming every match. So I think there's plenty of opportunity to Bombardier to come in. I think there's plenty of opportunity for it to be a defensive set too, playing kind of like a Mana Buzz role. It also gets knockoff. This thing is a problem. It will be a problem, I presume. And it kind of just, I don't know, it's similar to Alola Muck, but it's very different, and it's also similar to Lando. I bring those two up because they share typings. But I think it's different enough where it fills Lando roles like rocks and pivoting, but it also fills Alola and Muck roles with knockoff and good, I mean, both of them are really good strong attacks, but just knockoff in general. And they all, I feel like, I mean, obviously Alola Muck and Lando team more, but they all have really solid bulk. Yeah, that's my draft. I'm really excited. I have a lot of good pieces. I feel like my prep has been more enjoyable and more fun. I feel like that's led to my games being a lot more freer, and my play being a lot more open-ended and I don't, like majestic, and I don't know. It just feels good to battle. It makes the battling a lot more fun when my prep is like, it feels decent. Like here, I can show you a team. What team do you want to see? This is not going out. And nobody's gonna watch this from other leagues. So let's go all the way down to, I believe, this one. Let's go to this one. So this set, you know, not really anything notable, you know, it's kind of standard. We have this set, which is kind of like, you know, uneven. We have this set, which is very uneven. There was damage calcs actually, but pretty uneven. And then we have this set, which is very uneven. These are sets I really enjoy because we hit important speed tier or important HP tiers sometimes, and then we hit even numbers in the SPF or defense or attack and all that. Same here and here, and then 328 is means rocks do whatever. 329 means you live with 1 HP with rocks. And then same here. Like, I've enjoyed this so much. I've enjoyed giving bulk and all that. So I've been playing like that, and I've been prepping like that, and I think I've only lost a couple games since I've made that adjustment. I know obviously it's gonna change, and you know, streaks don't last forever, but it's been a lot more fun and a lot more enjoyable, especially in leagues like SDA where I'm literally 1-6, and I feel like the luck's just against me. So I've been enjoying battling a lot more. I know my uploads have been very infrequent, and I do apologize for that. There's just been so much in my life currently that I did not think there would be, especially without having to go to summer school, which is what I thought would be happening. Somehow I'm still super busy, probably because I'm in like 6 or 7 draft leagues. I just do not have motivation to post unless I'm absolutely required to. Hopefully when SDA is over, I finally find that motivation again. But like when you're not playing like shit, because I really don't feel like I was playing like shit in that league, but when you're just not winning games and you're just like prepping bad and you got so much shit to deal with at that time, and you kind of finally get time and then you realize, oh shit, I've dug myself a hole. Like I just haven't had any enjoyment of like, I'm so excited to post this week. Like I just haven't had that. So hopefully with this league I can find that again. I love a lot of these mons. Love Hisuian Electrode, I love Scizor, I love Iron Moth, I love Paldean Taurus, I love Zarina, I love Goodra, I love Alolan Muck. Like, there are some really fun mons on this team, so hopefully I can find that luck. Hopefully I can find, you know, my ability to win and whatnot. But thank you for watching. I'll see you guys when the season starts, and no outro. And I think I'm gonna split up the my prep versus my what I do, because the quality of videos is going down. Anyways, I'll see you later. Peace. Bye. Ciao. Hasta la vista. Adios.